Welcome, everyone. My name is David Eric. I'm the secretary of the DRB, and I'll be chairing tonight's meeting because our chair is away. This is the Thursday, May 14th meeting, and it is 6:32, and we are about to commence. So calling the meeting to order. We have two hearings on the agenda. And tonight, following the agenda, we're going to first see if there are any adjustments. Does anybody have any adjustments to the agenda?
I'm gonna just pause and just let these people.
Right. We have people who are waiting on the internet. And so we'll find out who they are and admit them.
Hi, Heather, can you come off mute and state your name and which hearing you're here for? Heather Bickford, are you there?
Hi, I'm on mute. Thank you. It's Heather.
You're for Paul Yando, right?
Yeah, who's on that? And what's his name?
Bickford. Hi, Katie, can you state your name and which hearing you're here for?
Hi, we are here for the Island Arts. Katie,
Yep, thank you.
Catherine Martell.
Thanks.
Yep.
I'm sorry, this is Heather. I'm here for the Yandow meeting.
Thank you. Dory Barton, can you state your name for us and which hearing you're here for? Yeah. Dory, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry. I guess there was a problem.
Can you state which hearing you're here for?
I'm here for the second agenda item for the Yandow subdivision.
Thank you. Hi, Jared. Can you state your full name and which hearing you're here for?
For me?
Jared?
Yeah, hi, this is Jared Kais.
Hi, and which hearing are you here for?
The Yandow?
Thank you.
And tonight we have present the entire DRB board in person, which is with the exception of the chair. But I mean, usually we've got people on Zoom, but I'm wondering if we could each introduce ourselves. Lisa, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lisa Farron.
Hi, I'm Patty LaBounty.
Hello, Charlie Dakar.
Hello, I'm Adrienne Denault.
Hi, I'm Delcy Durham.
David Eric, and our zoning administrator.
Danielle Turin.
Great. All right, moving on the agenda. Do we have any public comments? Do we have any public comments from the Zoom? Okay,
David, you have to put people under oath.
not until we open the hearing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I thought, okay.
So our first hearing, application 2026-11 DRB, conditional use modification for Champlain Island, celebration of the arts. So do we have people here who will be testifying? And do we have people who are persons of interest? Anyone else? Anyone else online? Okay.
And could you, for people on Zoom, could you just identify yourself?
Oh, hi, I'm Phil Suchier, and I live next door to Island Arts.
Great. And for all of you, we're going to ask you to take an oath. I hereby swear that the evidence I give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury. Do we all agree? Yes? We have nobody from student sex.
Katie, but she's.
Okay, great. Okay. So let us commence. It would be great if you would like to present your case.
Wants to come forward?
Sure. Wherever you feel comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Hi. I'm Judy Stacy. So our condition, the proposed amendments, we sent a copy to the DRB, and this, I thought I'd go over the summary. We mapped exactly to the court's decree, kind of putting forward a suggested proposal here for what modifications would be. The hours of operation do not change. They are still, 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. or sunset for outdoor events and indoor events, and by 10 p.m. Anything after 8:30 has to be inside, and all vehicles have to be off the premises within half an hour of the event ending. So that really has not changed. The event conditions is where we're asking for some modification. An event is still defined as a planned activity where visitors or guests are expected to arrive and depart at defined times. Here's now where we're getting into the facility may host no more than a certain number of events per calendar year. We're suggesting it be set to 20 events per calendar year with more than 90 visitors. Before it was more than 60 visitors, and we're asking to increase to 90 because most of our events, we're pushing that threshold, which is very nice for the community, for Island Arts, for people coming to events, and the businesses around, because people can come to an event and go to dinner in town. So let me just go forward here. So we're saying 20 events of more than 90 per year. And that item C here was, we had an unlimited events of 60 in the past. We're asking that to be increased by 30 to 90 now. So we would have unlimited events up to 90 people, including 90. And limiting the outdoor events, we'd say there's no more than 4 events per year, outdoor events with 90 to 150 visitors or guests, and no more than two outdoor events per year with more than 150 to 350. Sorry. I'll just turn a little bit if you can't hear me. So basically what I'm saying is that we would have 20 events of more than 90 people at our barn. And four of the events would be between 90 and 150 people, and 2 would be over 150 to the limit of the parking, which is 85 cars. So to 350 people. If you figure out 4 people per car. So all indoor events shall conform to the Vermont Department of Public Safety Division Fire Safety in the wills per the document that we have signed off May 31st of 24, permitting 210 total occupancy, 140 on the upper level and 70 on the lower level. So that's basically it. We're not saying that we want to have huge numbers of people. We have a couple of concerts that have attracted, that are free events and have attracted more than 100 people regularly. Marsh Lights and Mango Jam are 2 that we're having again this summer if approved. And we expect at least 150 people for that. So
And if I remember correctly, you're on a timeline for this decision because
We
you
are.
have these programs happening this season.
June,
Yeah,
yeah,
starting in
starting,
June.
yeah, right. So there's little leeway, a little time, and if we have to limit it, we can, but we would appreciate not, because it does bring in all sorts, and we offer young adults 22 and under free to all our events. Not the classes, but the events. So we do have about 17 events and 3 classes at the barn this year. Then there's also the weekly free events like yoga and Tai Chi that are by donation events. So those are weekly. And they have up to maybe 20 people max for those, maybe 30 once in a blue moon. So that's basically
Those are during the day, correct?
correct. Those are during the day.
week.
Yeah, correct. During the week. Tuesday, Monday, Wednesdays for the yoga and Thursdays for Tai Chi.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Sure.
On,
Adrian, should we, I'm just following
Oh, go ahead,
the
sorry.
procedures.
Yes.
So according to the procedures, are you finished presenting?
There's no change to the screening, no change to the traffic control. We will have a parking attendant, as we always have. And no, that's about it.
Okay, so now I'd like to invite interested persons to present information regarding the application or the proposal.
Mine's more of a question. Phil Suchier. I live right next door and I think it's great. I have no problem with the numbers change and so forth. But I don't know what's being done as far as parking and not so much getting people parked, but exiting. I've had several occasions where they enter my lawn,
Oh,
drive
really?
across the lawn and out my driveway,
Oh, okay.
leaving good sized ruts and sometimes depending on if it's raining before I enter. So if there's, I don't know if you're doing.
Could we add
anything
some
different.
signage?
What's that?
Could we add some signage that would maybe help mitigate that? Well, we could put up,
If you
Look
Ropes
up some-
also.
yeah,
Over there
yeah.
to keep them from
Sure.
jumping over, that would be.
yeah, we didn't realize they were going over your property.
Not every time, but
Okay.
more
Yeah.
than I would like to see.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if your parking attendants can, or
sure.
whoever does the setup can do that, that would
We'd be happy to do
be
that.
really appreciated. Your concerts are awesome. I love listening to them from the deck. So
Yeah.
You're,
wandering over for your books.
you're also, since you're a neighbor, you're also eligible for free tickets.
That's great. I think I've heard that too, but.
Yeah.
He
Most
doesn't
of
need
the
them.
time I'm on a cocktail out on the deck. It works out just fine.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
that's my only
Sure.
issue.
if there's anything that comes up during the season, please talk to us.
Oh, I know, and
Yeah.
I,
If we didn't, yeah,
from time to time, I've wanted to wander over there and just got busy, so this seemed like the perfect opportunity to
glad
make
you
sure
mentioned.
something was
Yeah.
happening.
Okay. Thanks.
Are there any other questions from
Yeah.
interested parties?
We have a question, but I don't know if you want to do Zoom after.
No, please. This is perfect, Catherine.
Yeah, so we just have a question. Out of those 20 events, what would be like how many would be during the week? Only because even if they are in, we also live right next door on the other side. And we really don't have a problem with capacity at all. The hedgerow's been great. We really don't have a problem with many of these things. My one concern would be how many of those events are during the week, and even if they are indoor, our bedroom is both bedrooms. My son and our bedrooms are on that side of the house, and even traffic kind of coming out at say 10:30 at night. Several cars kind of leaving can often be noisy, lights and things like that. And so we're just kind of wondering throughout the week how many of those events would be happening. Weekends are not so much a concern, but we do work full time, have a young son, things like that. So that would just, I think, be my
Yeah, no.
Only question for now.
We don't have evening events during the week except for Friday. If you can, I don't know if you consider Friday a weekday, but it can be. So we do have one event in the evening in August. The Munsels are presenting a class at 7 o'clock on a Thursday night. But the rest of the things are during the day.
Okay. So you have one scheduled event.
Sorry, what was that?
You have one scheduled event on a Friday evening. That's the would be the 10:30 p.m.
No. One
Not sure who we're
event on
talking.
a Thursday. One event on a Thursday, that would be 7 p.m. The rest
Right.
of our events are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that are
Okay.
concerts.
Okay.
And they
And
are later, they're.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
The other things are like Tai Chi and yoga, and they're during the day, or Tai Chi is at 4 o'clock,
Yep.
but yeah.
Yeah, really, we've had,
And yoga is in the morning. And
okay, yeah, we really are only
there's a
concern is
camp-
traffic
there's a
leaving
class. Oh.
during
Yeah,
the week, just
that'll
later,
be
later at night.
like 15. Oh, we don't have that, really. There'll just be that one event later at night. It's, yeah. Yeah,
How late would you expect that to run? I don't think that would.
to 8:30, yeah.
Just think it'd be about
It's
an
done by
hour.
8:30, 7 to
How
8:30,
many usually attend that?
20 people,
Okay.
maybe 30.
That's not a big event, yeah.
No, it's,
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
There are more questions?
sure.
Thank you.
not from us.
Any more questions?
If you'd like, I
concerns?
can come over and go over the schedule with you too, at some point, if you'd like.
Yeah, no, we can,
Katie?
yeah, no, thank you for that. We can definitely see it online. I mean, really, that's our only concern, just having kind of our bedroom window and our, 6-year-old son, we, just the traffic in and out. Even if it's an indoor event, we definitely can hear it, people leaving and things like that. And again, it's not so much weekends, it would be more so, we were just kind of curious about any kind of event going later during the week. But I mean, it sounds, I mean, we're happy to, that's really all we care about. Honestly, everything else we're good with.
Okay. There is one event, it doesn't go late, but it'll be a large population. The Very Merry Theater is putting on a youth camp, Peter Pan. And I expect for the performance on Friday, this August 7th, that will have a max capacity event. But that'll be like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they'll be done by 3. They'll be all out of there by 4 o'clock on Friday.
That's great.
So. And it'll be all their relatives. So- I don't think the public will be able to come.
That's great.
Yeah.
Any more comments from the Zoom? Great. Do we have any questions or comments from the board? Lisa?
Hi, I love this process, that's my thing, but unfortunately, I personally believe this is the incorrect venue for resolving these issues, because what I believe is you want to appeal the decision of the environmental court. There's nothing fundamentally different about what you're requesting based on the ruling that they provided.
No, we just want to change the max limit of unlimited people from 60 to 90. That's all we want to do, basically. And
I've heard more things, but regardless,
uh-huh.
that's still a ruling that was issued by the environmental court based on all of the facts that they found in reviewing the conditional use permit.
Can I counter that, Lisa?
Of course.
If I may? I think it was based on the document that was presented to the court from the DRB. They had proposed a certain limit going forward, and the court didn't, the court granted, just went along with the DRB because that's what they proposed. I don't think the court
Actually, no,
limited.
that's not how it works.
Oh,
They did
okay.
a de novo trial, which means they look at everything independent of anything the DRB decided. And they look at all the facts themselves, which is why you would have to appeal their decision, not our decision.
Well, we are.
And that would be appealed to the Superior Court, I guess.
Can I ask a question just for record keeping purposes? You said before that you were going along, I think, with exactly what the court,
Mhm. Just changing the numbers.
you're going along exactly with what the court said,
Correct.
and you're trying to get that to match the existing conditional use. You're trying to modify that now.
Right.
So you're trying to match what the court is saying with what the DRB is allowing.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got that right for the notes.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I think one of the main issues is that when the first year we did this, there weren't as many people coming and it became more popular, so more people came. And we wanted to make sure that we could accommodate the added populations. And we have an interest in that because the money we make goes to the kids on the islands for various musical and dance and so forth, arts activities. So, if we can maximize without being overburdening the amount of money that we can give to them, that's what we're trying to do.
Right. And we're also offering more free concerts, so more people can come.
Yeah.
And be exposed to different genres of music and arts.
Adrian, did you have a question?
I do have
Yeah.
a question, and this is on page 3 of your conditional use permit amendment. And maybe, I'm not, maybe it's me, so under section B, you have a proposal. It says propose no more than 2 outdoor events per year with more than 150 to 350 people. Is that a typo?
No, okay, permitted, okay,
The
the proposed.
Roman numeral,
the last one,
Double two.
150 to 350?
yeah.
Yeah, that's not, what was permitted before was 100 to 150, and now we're saying we'd like it to be 150 to 350 for those two events.
So do you have, sewer to accommodate 350 people?
We don't,
Or,
we're not hooked up to the sewer.
Okay, so you provide porta potties and stuff like that?
Portalettes, yeah.
Portalettes
Yeah, and we
outside.
have enough of them to handle that.
And then how would you make sure that those 350 people aren't inside the building at one time?
We have people there that,
So
well,
you
if
make-
it's an outside event, we make sure that.
Oh, so
people-
they don't go in at all if it's an outdoor event? Is that what this?
Some people could walk in, but the outdoor event, people are outside. They
Oh,
bring their
okay.
chairs.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I get it then. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
my question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Yep.
Do we have
I have a question. The original decision talked about, restricting days and, it was 2 events on the weekends and things like that. It didn't, encompass the full week. And I understand what your summary is of at the end of the number of events you want to have, but it doesn't say anything about, what days of the week. So for instance, the Martell's Katie's concern, if you said that the large events were only going to be on the weekends, would only take place Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, or, and define that a little bit more, or we could suggest that, or, just so it's still more in line with what was done before.
Mhm.
Is that your intent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
So we can
Yeah,
make that a
yeah.
condition.
yeah, we can, okay, so I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that,
Yeah.
right,
We also have a vested interest in keeping things under control for ourselves because there are only what, how many board members?
Yeah, 10.
There are 10 board members and we handle the whole thing.
right,
And we will burn ourselves right out if we have any more than that.
right.
So,
Yeah, we don't have any large events on weekdays.
You know, the thing is, this permit doesn't follow with,
Not Island
it's
Arts.
not Island Arts, so if you, once you guys
Mhm.
say, we're done, we're not doing this anymore, and if nobody else takes it up and you sell that barn. And somebody else buys it for events, this unlimited number of events would travel with that permit. So we, you know, I mean, I think everybody in the room agrees about how great your program is, and we totally understand the benefit to the community. But it's a matter of, we have to be careful because we don't want to say Joe Blow that comes in and buys this and is having, you know, 90 events a year on the weekend or on the weekdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So, well, that's why we limited to 20 events up to 90 people.
right,
and
I
then,
see that.
yeah. And I'm fine to put in the clause that the larger events will only be on the weekends,
I mean, maybe, yeah, we
Yeah.
can write that in.
Friday through Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I wonder about Lisa's concern. I mean, should we be ruling on this? I mean, I'm not clear on that.
Does anybody have a point of view on that?
Well, I have a question about it, but I think that can be taken up in deliberations, can it?
Okay,
Can I
Okay.
make another comment then? Back when the court made its decree, that was a while back and there weren't that many, areas having concerts and different, now we have Shore Acres and we have, North Hero House. And so I think, so there's more diversity
Mhm.
in the islands now. And so what was maybe unusual back then is maybe more usual now. Just
even
possibly.
Night State.
a
Park.
night, yeah,
Right,
right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so that's just,
Mhm.
it's
that's true, yeah.
possible.
I also think you'll find that in the judge's deliberations, he actually kind of cautions not limiting us too much because he wants to be successful. And so, you know,
Mhm.
we're kind of limiting ourselves in a lot of ways, more than but he, you know, he did make a mention of that in one of his points.
Yeah, I have it.
Does anybody else have any questions for the applicants? Do any of the interested parties have questions for the applicants? Would you like to make a summary statement?
We appreciate the town of North Hero letting us come and present to the community. I think we have a valuable service and to the businesses, to the people, to the visitors that come in from off the island. I feel like we're in the spirit of the decree, trying to meet the needs of the people here and not impact the neighborhood either. You know, we want to be considerate of our neighbors. We're just here to help the kids of our community and offer different artistic endeavors to the community. So that's really all we're trying to do. So,
Great, well, thank you.
okay.
You make a motion.
I motion we close this hearing. Is that the motion you'd like?
Is
to
there
hear?
a second to close the hearing?
Close it here, second.
Second by Adrian. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Just so you know, Tony and Judy, we have 45 days to issue a decision. It doesn't usually take quite that long.
Okay, thank you.
I think I started thinking.
Okay. There's another person joining us perfect time and she's here for, Pollyanna. She's gonna be late.
What's your name?
Hi, Kelly. Can you state your name and tell us what hearing you're here for?
Yes, this is Kelly Day. I'm here for the Yando.
Great, thank you. That was perfect timing.
And we had someone else walk in during that last meeting. You didn't sign in.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to do
Would
that
you
now?
mind?
Yes, would you
Yes.
please?
Sure.
Great. And what was your name?
Cheryl Yanda.
And you're here for the Yandao.
Good guess.
Did you sign in too?
No, we didn't.
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay. So we are now on to the second hearing, application 2026-21 DRB, subdivision major by the Paul J. Yandao Revocable Trust. And I want to see if there are any conflicts of interest or any ex parte communication for anyone on the board.
I'd like to make a comment. I've had Berman Engineering design and oversee the permitting and construction of my new mound system at my property. And I will recuse myself from the hearing if anyone feels that this presents a conflict of interest.
So for any of the interested parties, either in the room or on the Zoom, do you believe that this represents a conflict of interest that requires the DRB member to recuse herself? Okay. Delcy, do you feel the need to recuse yourself?
I do not.
Okay, so we will proceed with you as a voting member. Thank you.
Thank you.
And interested parties, we want to make sure that everyone who wants to be listed as an interested party is documented as such. This is very important for those of you who are in the room and on the phone because if you are not listed as an interested party, you do not have the right to appeal. So this is establishing your right to appeal the decision. So who is in the room as an interested party? Okay, so we have Cheryl Yandao.
Lori Chalmers.
I don't know your last name.
Lori Chalmers.
Chalmers.
Anna Kane. Brett Kane.
Ina and Brett Kane, thank you. And on the Zoom, people who would like to be known as interested parties.
Kelly Day.
Jared Kais.
Kelly, are you? an
Yes,
interested
please.
Party? Okay, and Heather, are you an interested party?
Yes. Yes, please. And my husband Bob is here as well.
Okay. And Dory,
I'm a
are you
consultant.
an interested party?
No, I'm working for Lori Chalmers.
Okay. And Jared,
Yes,
are you an interested party?
I am. Thank you.
Right? Did I get everything?
Yes, you did.
Did I?
Yep.
All right.
Well done.
Everybody who needs to be an interested party has been identified? Great. Thank you. And thank you for your patience. Okay. For those of you who are interested parties, I'm going to read an oath. If you could please agree. I hereby swear that the evidence I give and the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury. You. Yes, and online, Kelly?
I do.
Yes, Heather?
Yes.
Heather?
I do, yes.
Great. Dory?
Yes.
No, Dory's not. Right. Jared?
Well, I'm not an interested. Can I ask a question?
Dory's not interested.
But you may.
Yes, Dory, please.
I'm not an interested party, but I may offer testimony. Do you still want me to do the oath?
You swear? Yes, please.
I do.
Thank you. Thank you. Jared?
Yes, I do.
Jared, can you hear us?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Great. I think I got everybody.
You did.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. May I invite the applicants to provide your application?
You feel left out.
Close and personal.
Good evening. So I'm Jay Bierman. I'm here, an engineer helping out the Yandos. To start off with, if it's okay, I've got some more paperwork for you. First of all, a draft survey plat that I realized yesterday I never included with the package to you, so. That's there.
So that's new.
Yes, it wasn't on your list. Also, there's a supplement. There was a little more email communications concerning wetlands. So I'm giving you a copy of that. Got a couple of them. So that's just the last little bit of previous email communications.
Yeah.
And when you guys are done looking at it, why don't you lay it on the table and we can reference it?
Put that there. And lastly, we have received the wastewater system and potable water supply permit also. There's a couple copies of that. That came in last week. So with that.
And Jay, just to clarify, none of this has been provided in the packet, so none of this has
That's
been
right.
posted.
This was after
Okay.
Danielle distributed.
Okay,
I advised him to bring it and
Yeah.
present it as new.
absolutely.
Okay, so at this point, I think most of you were here for the preliminary, but the gist of it, at this point, we're proposing a subdivision of lot number 1, creating 3 lots of about 3 acres each. Another lot of just over 2 acres. And the remaining acreage of lot 1 to be boundary adjusted to the Yandos adjacent residential property to just over 2 acres. I can go into as much or as little detail on that as you want, but want to bring particular attention. I put together a brief response to the conditions you had in the preliminary approvals. So to run through those, I moved the private road slightly. On the north side of the garage, the existing garage, to make sure that we had adequate 25-foot minimum setback from the garage to the road right of way. Realized that after the previous hearing, so that is fixed on there. And secondly, there was quite a bit of discussion about a culvert that's not in the wetlands, but crossing the proposed road. And as we'd offered in the previous hearing, we've decided to just keep that as an 8-inch culvert. It's not that important to us, and it seems to be working. There's not a lot of runoff through it, so we'll keep it the same and just extend it as necessary to get across the widened road. I do want to spend some time whenever you get around to it. The wording in the preliminary about when the road must be constructed
I am concerned about that, so I've tried to outline that in my narrative, but if you'd like to discuss that in more detail, I'm happy to.
Would you please?
Okay.
I think it was very clear, but
Yeah.
especially for the benefit of interested parties.
The gist of it, in my opinion, standard construction practice, when you're building a road to get to properties, you need to build something that's fairly durable that can stand up to construction traffic, dump trucks, heavy equipment, and so on. But first of all, you need to put in the buried utilities underneath the road and get those in place. Do all that trenching. Then you can start building the road. And then that sub base, the bottom portion of the road, gets hammered with astronomical heavy traffic across it, gets it compacted into place, gets rutted up, gets smoothed out, gets rutted up. But by the time the heavy construction is done, that's pretty solid sub-base material for the road. And then we put the dressing on the top of it to make it look pretty, make it more suitable for standard residential vehicles. But we'd rather not be building this entire finished road, then trenching across it, then hammering it with heavy traffic and rebuilding it from scratch eventually at that point. So
Plus it's permeable material, so we don't want to mess that up.
yeah, we're trying to retain a good share of that as a pervious road as allowed by Stormwater Division.
But you could have, may I ask a question? But you would have the sub-base in place?
Yes, as soon as we get the trenching and the underground utilities in, then we need that base road so the contractors can get.
Right, so that base material would be in place before they're in real heavy trucks, other than the trenching.
Right.
Okay,
But the finished surface wouldn't be until
got it.
the houses are there and ready for occupancy. And we'd be happy with the condition. Interrupt me when I get far off track here, Paul.
Yeah.
We would expect there to be a condition that no COs will be issued on the residences till the road at least to that residence is
For the final occupancy, it's gonna have to be done, so, it all makes sense.
but it's passable in the rough stage for emergency traffic if and as needed.
What if the house,
Great.
what if one house isn't built for 10 years out of the 5?
Then that driveway or the remnant of the road getting to that house, wouldn't be finalized until that point. It would need to be stabilized from an erosion, surface water perspective. But it doesn't need to be finished with surface course of gravel on it or even sub-base if utilities aren't put into that house yet.
All the sub-base would be in, that's the sturdy structural part of the road. And that will be all done one time and then go back and we build on each side of it. And do our utilities, get everything done, power, electrical, everything to the transformer boxes, which are put in the right of ways next to the road. And then the construction to the houses will be built. And at this point, when each house gets to that finale of finishes, then we do the dressing on the road up to that driveway and up to the house, to the drive, from the driveway. And that's all completed. Nice and neat, and the landscaping is done at the interim, that the final is also done.
And do you have more to present?
And until you ask me questions.
Well, I think what we'll do, if you're finished presenting, what we'll do is we'll turn it over to interested parties here in the room. Are there any questions?
Just about that specific one, Jay, understand where you guys are coming from, but, so I might be wrong, but I think you're building a house and then another house and then another house. I don't know where that fits in the sequence, but don't you have turnaround spots in it? Like, how does somebody get on a dead end road and then turn around if the rest of that road isn't done? Am I not saying that right?
the road needs to be constructed because it's a road.
So it's gonna go all the way to the end. It's gonna go
To the
the whole
turnaround.
road. It
Yes,
just
I'm
won't
sorry.
have that surface on it all the way.
Right, as soon as it's serving, I think the definition for the town is 4 or more houses,
Yep.
then it's a road. A road shall have a turnaround. So as soon as that 4th house connects, which there's already,
It's not houses, it's lots.
right. You're correct, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Wow.
So-
Yeah. I mean, it's a mixed sense.
I'm impressed. Do we have more questions? Do we have any questions from the Zoom?
This is
No?
Jared.
Okay.
This is.
Do we
this
have
is
any
Jared-
questions? from-
This is Jared Kais.
Yes,
Did you ask about the Zoom? Am I?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Paul and Jay. So I'm wondering, is the road going to be built in such that it will, in the future, be that which will service whatever houses end up getting built on the 25 acres in the upland? I guess what I'm most concerned about, and I come at this from the standpoint of a longtime landowner in that part of the island, and being part of a family that's donated a lot of land for conservation in that what I consider a really important area. I come at this as you own that land and you should be able to do what regulations say you can do. I don't have any, I don't have any problem with that. My hope would be that we could find a solution for as much of that acreage as possible to keep it open and conserved. That's my biggest concern. So I'm just, when we've talked, I don't remember seeing this many houses when we originally talked in your kitchen. And I'm just wondering what the future plan is with the 25 acres. And is this road and all the utilities going to be part of eventually feeding, the 4 new houses plus another 10 back or whatever it's going to be in the back acres?
Do you want to answer that, Paul, or you want me
Yeah,
to?
at this point, Jared, that 25 acre parcel is already permitted for 1 house. It's not part of this permitting. We already have permits on that. To answer your question, I have no further plans in the works right now to do any more housing out there because we're not permitted for it. All we're permitted for is on that 20, this is lot 2. All we're permitted for is the one on the 25 acres.
This is Heather, Paul, but you did get approval from the state to build up to 8 houses in the back lot, right?
Yeah, it was.
As far as the septic was concerned.
We optimized that permitting on that, just so we had an idea of what could happen. And then we ran into there's different scenarios there for access. At this point, though, I am more concerned about developing the upper wooded area with the 4 houses and keeping that one available for building on the 25 acres after these are completed.
I know that's your
gonna
initial
take a little
concern,
bit.
but our concern is the future and what could possibly happen. So we kind of want to know, it'd be nice for us to know what your thoughts are on that for the
Oh.
future.
Well, that one, that one road will service that one house on lot 2. And we'll keep that road in operation, but we're still gonna need to get permitting to do more houses. So I'm kind of holding off on that, seeing what the future brings with the sales and activity around that area. And when that time comes, we have to come back to the board and permit for more houses.
Yeah, and I guess I would just say, Paul, and I want, you know, you to know this, and I hope everyone is hearing this, that there, I hope that as the creep happens up into that back field, that all parties recognize that there are a lot of interested parties who'd like to find a solution that works for you, Paul, as an owner who's looking to do this, I presume, to make, you know, a profit and help with your retirement. This is your property, you're allowed to do, and you should be able to do whatever you want with it. And but I do want you to know that if, you know, if this is a financial thing and there's other ways to get to end with a property that's fully conserved in one of incredibly important area, because that property, that 25 acres is a bullseye right on that Butternut Hill spine, with two of the most extraordinary swamps coming in on either side. And if there are ways of buying development rights or whatever that keeps this from happening up on top of those back acres, I just want to make sure the lines of communication are open, that so that we can as a townspeople and neighbors get to a point of protecting this. And I understand that some people like to build because they love to build. I like to bird watch. I go out and I bird watch. And I understand that some people like to build because they like to build, and that may be you. And so maybe this thing is just going to get built come hell or high water. But I do want you to know, and for everyone else in the room here, that we hope that there's some other way to get to, particularly with the back acres, to have that protected in a big block. So anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks, guys.
So this is David, and I just want to clarify that the application isn't for the back acres at this time. And so while I think that this is an interesting conversation, it's actually not relevant to the current application.
I think
But I
that's
understand
what someone would say. I'm sorry about that.
But I understand what you're saying, Jared. And right now, I set that on the back burner. And if that goes into the real estate company will be, and I haven't let them loose yet, on hoping to find a one owner for that one house for the whole property. And I would be happy if that were the case, and how it would be in the future.
Great, thanks, Paul.
Do we have any more questions from interested parties on the Zoom? No? Do we have opening questions now to the board? Delcy? Oh, sorry, Lori?
I don't know where we are. I thought we were just, so are we done presenting and now?
Yes, we're done presenting and now we're asking questions about the presentation.
Okay. Can I come up?
Sure.
I just have some questions and I can't see.
You want the plans laid out?
I don't know. I think so. So, thank you for leaving the culvert. I think that's awesome. Dory Barton, who's on the phone today. Oh, let me back up. My name's Lori Chalmers. I'm an abutting property owner. Our south end abuts to Paul's north end side of South End Road. Dory Barton is an environmental analyst, and as soon as we saw the plans, actually the Yandows and I share a couple of wetlands that travel back and forth between our two properties. So of course, my interest is understanding the impact to our property if we're building up on wetlands. And so Dory, and what the plans are saying and what to look out for. And Paul actually let us walk the property and she took pictures. And so we feel like the adjustments that you've made in this presentation in terms of the culvert, thank you very much, is not going to impact the I'm going to call it the high wetland or the wetland that's in lot one.
Lot one.
Lot one, right? And so stop me if this is not the place to have this conversation, but this entire development is based on a wetland permit from the state of Vermont, whether it's lot one or lot two, it's all one wetland permit. And believe me, I feel for you guys because this is my stack and I don't know anything about site plans or development, or this is not my genre. So I'm pretty slow at it and I don't catch all the nuances, and I feel like I'm a non-player with folks that do this for a living and have done commercial development and engineering for a long, long time. So I apologize up front, but I'm going to dive into it. So there have been several iterations of plans, both presented to the state of Vermont for the wastewater permit and the wetland permit, and then different plans presented to the town of North Hero. So I understand that it may be the process that you go through with the town of North Hero, but what I've struggled with since we began this process is wastewater doesn't equal wetlands, wetlands doesn't equal town of North Hero plans. And so why are we in that situation? So in putting all this stuff together yesterday for today's meeting, what I've recognized is, and I will try to do this as quickly as possible. There's a nuance here that we're actually talking to the state again, the Department of Environmental Conservation. So I'm going to try to lay this out for you. I'm going to start with the wetland permit, right? So this wetland permit talks about, help me, where's that driveway? Oh, this driveway right here. Okay, and so Dory Barton and I had walked this property right here, and it's way away from the wetland that we share, and we're fine with the road and the culvert that you're going to keep. So thank you very much. So this guy right here goes through a class 2 wetland, and that class 2 wetland is about 3 acres. It's a big wetland. And so when the wetland permit was submitted for that in August, there was a question on here that said, not section 9.1, for this house, you don't have, it's way back here, right?
Yeah, you're talking about the lot one house
Yeah.
back there,
So I want to share with you guys
or lot two.
what the site plan looked like that was submitted with this. And it's 2 houses, 1 on each lot, right? That was the site plan submitted for the wetland permit.
One on
in
lot
August.
one on lot two.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the question on this permit that I'm struggling with, that I reached back out to the Department of Environmental Conservation is section 9.1.1. Can the activity be located on another site owned or controlled by the applicant? That house right there. And the answer was no. Okay, so there's no other place that the owner of this property owns that you could relocate that house. Right? So that was in August of this year. That's the wetland permit. So I'm going to go back to the wastewater permit, which was submitted in March of last year, 5 months prior. If you look at the site plan for the wastewater permit, these are the houses that are proposed. 6 houses, right? So this was approved in March. This was approved in August without those 6 houses on it, saying there is no other place that the applicant owns that you could replace that house. Yes, there is. So then fast forward to
And I'm sorry, Lori,
Yep.
for the record, can
Yep.
you describe the implication, like therefore?
Yes, because I think the implication here is that this wetland permit, and I don't quite know how to say this, was erroneous. There were other places to relocate that house. There are other places. There were other places that the applicant knew about on the wastewater permit 5 months before. And there's a brand new application with the town of North Hero right now to put those houses back. So if you're gonna put those houses back, why do you need to go through this wetland? Why can't that house come up here? Why can't that house be one of those houses? And I have a feeling that if this was presented with all these houses, that permit may not have been valid.
The wetland permit.
Yes. And so I come here today going, what do we do with this? So I've reached back out to the Department of Environmental Conservation. I just went through this yesterday with this whole stack of paperwork, and I went, oh. So we're in conversation about this, and I'm asking them to take another look at this permit, this wetland permit, which is like, it's the foundation of all this development, whether it's lot 1 or lot 2. So I just wanted you guys to know that, because the last time we met, that permit had to be like wrapped up before we could move forward. So anybody have any questions about that?
Let me halt you there.
Yeah.
Are there questions from other interested parties? Are any other questions?
Just as a point of order, could we put these into the record as exhibits? And, yeah.
So that's one thing. The other thing that I have a question about, this is not a road back here. This is a driveway. Because it's a driveway. It's not a road. It goes from.
It's a driveway.
Yeah, it goes from, I think, correctly,
It
20
goes-
feet, 20
Is it
feet.
From a shared driveway, from
Yeah.
a road to a shared driveway
Yeah.
to a driveway, yeah.
So this permitted drive on that wetland permit is a driveway. It's 10 feet. That's what was approved. The minimum driveway width in the town of North Hero is 12 feet. So I don't know how you get a permit that says you can't go beyond the 10 when the town says it has to be 12. Right? And the state of Vermont said, you're not making that any bigger. So I don't know what you do with that.
So the condition of one of their wetland permits, or?
This was submitted with the wetland permit with a design that had a 10-foot road, a 10-foot driveway. And so when we went back last week, 2 weeks ago, and said, can you relook at that permit? And can you just confirm the culvert piece that we were talking about? Crystal, yeah. She reiterated that we have to stick with the criteria of the approved permit, the wetland permit, and that stipulates that they only approved a 10-foot swath through that wetland. And that doesn't meet town of North Hero's width for a driveway. So I don't, how do we?
A question, are we talking on the plan I have here, it shows it as wetland B?
Yep, right there. Yes. So those are the two things that I'm struggling with. And again, I'm with Jared. It's Paul's property. They're both gracious neighbors. I love them both. I'm really concerned about this wetland and that one. I don't want a pond in my backyard because it's built up and there's no place for the water to go. I have no idea where the water's gonna go that flows freely through there right now. And I'm also concerned about the environment around us. These wetlands flow into Camp Ingalls. Camp Ingalls has endangered and rare species in there. How do we know that we're not messing that up?
I have another question.
A point of information, or are we going to open to questions for the board?
Oh, I will hold up.
Any more questions from
I,
attendants or
I'll
applicants?
just say one more thing, and I said this at the last meeting. This is a major subdivision. And I see a lot of, really hopeful things in our town plan that I don't know if anybody's looking at that with this major subdivision. Protecting hydrology, protecting, lake shore property values. These houses are going 100 feet behind everybody else's back door. If they don't have backyards, and then the 100 feet start. It's the back door, 100 feet back. So how are we protecting the value of the lakeshore property that's already there? What are we doing about the wildlife? If you walk back there at any time of the day during the year, you're going to see deer, fox, hawks, eagles. It's a major deer field. And according to our town plan, we're not supposed to be developing that.
And we, by the
So
way,
I'm
we have,
concerned
we have,
about
we have, we have
that.
video evidence. We have video evidence of a lynx, also on that area. Just for what it's worth. And again,
So I guess where I'm going with that is.
Listen. I agree. For Paul does deserve to be able to build this thing to the extent it fits with regulations, but I do think we need to be very sensitive about what this wetland is, and be sure that if we're stretching for the right reasons. Paul, when you were working, Bill, when you grew the CBD hemp back there, and my dad allowed you to drive through his field, was that because it was unpassable for you to come through that normal driveway? I mean, my sense was that it was so wet that you needed to come in another way to get your equipment back there, which sort of said to me that that was probably pretty wet area.
No, actually, we went through there because it's the farmer's road. That's how we allow the farmer to get to that your back field to go across the south end to our road. And so we use that same farmer's road. And it was very light use, but that's why we used it that way.
Okay.
The farmer has big equipment to get across there.
Yeah, no, Andre Quinton, yeah.
Yeah, and so we allow him to get to your site in the back to our property. And he does our property as well.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from attendants?
Lori, do you have extra copies of those items?
Wastewater still.
Oh, you put them up here? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Tony missed one.
Yeah,
Tony missed
they're
one.
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Great.
Lori, do you need those back? I can make copies tomorrow.
No, I. Yeah.
So I'd like to open to questions from the board.
This is not.
Darcy.
I'm confused.
So I have two questions. The first question is just for clarity. And the clarity that I'm asking for is in looking at the proposed road for lot 1, which has lots 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D.
Mhm.
So looking at the proposed road for that, it does change in dimension as you go through past the first two houses.
Yep.
And then down at the second two houses in that original lot 1, it then continues on even more narrow as a permitted drive going to lot 2. That's
Correct.
okay. And so the road and the base of the road that you're talking about, the sub base and what you would put in would be all the way to lot 2?
No.
That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
Where specifically is the sub base going?
It goes beyond the 2 driveways for lot 1, the furthest east 2 houses. So it goes beyond those driveways so that they're on those base.
So I see some, like a little square of, is that the turnaround that you were talking about?
There's a so-called a hammerhead turnaround. So that's
okay.
the terminus of the road.
That's the terminus of
So
the
it would
road,
make
so the road
sense-
goes that far.
It would make sense to have that road functional.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, so given that it does not go, after that, it's only a primitive drive of, I have no dimension on here, you've got the 30-foot right of way, but what the permitted drive is,
I believe it's a 20-foot, it's a shared drive at that point. So if it's serving,
it's only serving the one house that,
well, after the hammerhead, it's a shared drive serving 3 houses. So it needs to be the 20 feet wide. And then it can narrow to the 12 feet typically. Or in this case, to reduce impact on the wetland, it was 10 feet.
okay, so if you were doing any development in lot 2, you would have to go through all of the permitting requirements for not only lot 2, but changing the road in lot 1.
Right. There are substantial permitting hurdles to try to do anything more on lot 2.
Well, I'm looking because of wetlands B and C, the road going across there is down to the 10-foot road.
Right.
And if you wanted to get to lot 2, but with anything larger than that, you would have to go through wetlands again.
And
Yeah.
like,
It would be a whole different thing.
Okay,
Wetland, stormwater. There probably other permits also, but those are the 2 that come to mind,
okay. And then the other.
as well as the town, of course.
The other question I had was, with wetland A and the concerns that wetland A, you're totally outside of the buffer for wetland A in terms of the road or the houses is,
Right.
okay. Wetland A goes to your property, is that right?
I believe it flows to our property.
Flows, and then wet B and C go down to Camp Ingalls.
Yes, but there's a loop. So if you look at the hydrology of those, they are connected.
On your property?
I don't know if the connection's on our property or Paul's property.
There, well, it's not shown as being connected here.
do you mean A connects with B and C? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think there's a C, but.
Well, B and C are at the east end of
The end of.
the lots 1 and 2, lots 1.
Excuse me.
Hydrology map from the state of Vermont, but I don't know if I can just easily find it in this mess, but it does show that those 2 are connected. So what impacts one may impact the other.
I guess, does wetland B is on your property, does it flow to your property or does it flow to down? It looks,
It's better from her.
Camp Ingalls.
Look at that little thing.
Yeah.
You probably know these, right?
I haven't looked a lot at the.
I'm gonna have to
Outside.
reorient myself. So there's the lake. So this is,
Can I turn it to match?
Yeah.
Go the other way.
Yeah, there you go. So, where are we? South End Road.
Wetland aids on
Garage.
your left hand.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so
according to this, A does connect with B,
Yeah.
but up on Lori's property.
On her property.
yeah, so
Yeah.
this is, actually, our property is right on this tree line.
Right.
And there's Paul's RV, which is where that house is, this house is gonna go right there, right, Paul? Right where the RV is,
Yeah,
pretty much.
so this connection
So
is
these-
incorrect because the on-site field delineation did not find that connection.
Yeah, it doesn't show that.
So I might add, this is
So,
your property here,
well, it goes right across here.
correct?
So this
That's
is our
where-
property and.
But
what
that's
you-
where all the water comes from.
If this one flows this way, see these
Correct.
arrows right here, it flows into
And
our
it
property.
goes into your pool and then you go this way.
Yeah,
That's the
and then
big
it
one.
connects and goes back that way.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the
that's what I'm saying.
hydrology map doesn't line up with the aerial. It's farther north.
I don't know what you're asking me.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
So what was the question? Where's, how much of,
Well, the question, I am really interested is where's the boundary line between your property and her property?
right, okay.
It's right in this tree line. So we're probably, I don't know, 3 to 5 feet in, maybe. But if you look at this guy right here pushes out into this field right here. So we have wetness. We don't,
You have about from my side, yeah, your side of the fence
Yep.
is like that.
Yeah.
So she owns a wee bit here, but this is wetland here on her property, this much.
Yep.
Got it.
But
But
this
the-
does flow in. I mean, it's pretty, you can't
it
walk
comes-
through there. It's
Comes
wet.
from the
Well,
upper
So
hill and.
I don't want to pool back there.
So A does connect to
have
B,
one.
but
I
not on
know,
the
but you know what I
property.
mean? On Paul's property.
Right,
property,
yeah.
is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I see.
That's,
Do you need that? Because I can get another one.
But that,
that's
Yeah,
it.
I think,
Thank you.
did you say no?
Would you like that?
I think should it be part of evidence?
If I looked at it and I asked questions
Yeah,
about it,
exactly.
we need it.
Lori, I'm in the office tomorrow. I can copy everything and give you a copy. So if you need them.
Do you want me to just give this to you then? Well, actually,
Just what you guys looked at.
Okay.
Please.
Are there any more questions from the board? Patty, you're looking.
So about this relocation of the houses, I mean, I didn't see anything that says building envelope on any of these drawings. It said potential house placement.
Right.
So that there is nothing set in stone exactly where on which one of these, you know, exactly in what location that house is gonna go and nor is the shape of the house.
Right, and that's the way I typically do things because I don't know who's gonna
Who's
own
gonna
it,
design
who's
and
building.
what they're putting.
Yeah.
Right. So this house being right here, could it be over here? Could it be over here?
As long as it meets all the
All the
applicable
setbacks.
There's room.
regulations.
Right.
Yeah.
all the way
So-
across that corner.
So having the houses shift from drawing to drawing isn't really, to me, that relevant then, because none of them are set in stone building envelopes.
Right, you can see they all
Because you
look
need
the
a
same.
building permit for each one of those houses
Yes.
before you start building.
Yes,
And it has to ensure that it meets all the setbacks.
and that's what
Okay.
Danielle does, yeah.
Very good.
Any more questions from the board?
I'd be curious to know your thoughts on, Lori's regarding, the, movement of the, house and how that relates to the wetland permit.
Okay, I'd be happy. I was hoping someone would ask me that, Charlie. So first of all, I'm a wastewater guy. Okay, some of you know that.
Mine's still working, by the way.
Thanks. I'm always
Actually,
afraid to ask.
Charlie's the one who says thanks.
So, and I've been doing this, I think 40 years this year. And in the islands, especially when I find wastewater capacity, I want to lock it in somehow or another. So if I find spot of good soils here, spot of good soils over here, first inclination inclination, let's get a state permit on it. Let's lock it in. Those permits don't expire. To do that, I need to show where's the flow coming from. Okay, I need X number of houses. I'm going to spot them wherever I can. Come up with some simple collection system to get them over to the field, send it into the state, get my WW permit back. Great, we know, hey, we have this much capacity. Don't know how we're going to use it, but we've got that. Now we can start looking at other options. In this case, when we came in for the previous subdivision, simple. Lot 1, lot 2, Paul wanted to be able to create a lot he could generate some income from if he had to. Sell off the back 25, here's a house. Well, we've got a wetland thing here. So we need to get the wetlands delineated. While we're at it, let's delineate all the wetlands on the property because it might be useful. So we came through the town, got the wetlands permit for this crossing, kept the driveway as narrow as we possibly could. I did not do the wetlands permitting on it, but I would expect that question is interpreted. Is there any other way to get to that portion of the property? Okay, he's got 25 acres back there. Well, there's a substantial wetland in the middle of that. He doesn't have road frontage on the north or south. He has an existing drive through the woods. Four-wheeler trail, a pickup truck could make it down through there, probably has many times, but it's a woods road.
Yeah.
But for wetlands impact, we're trying to minimize our impact as much as we can. We need to go a little bit wider than what that unimproved track is, but most commercial vehicles can make it through a 10-foot wide driveway. We've got 12-foot lanes on Route 2. The older roads had 11-foot lanes. South Street and South Hero, I think, still has 10-foot lanes. Okay, so we've got a 10-foot lane across here. You got the wetlands permit that had an opportunity for appeal. Once it was issued, all the neighbors were noticed. Permit is pending. No one appealed the permit. We went through town subdivision. Here's our proposed access to this lot. Here's the driveway. We haven't changed that a bit from a wetlands perspective or from a town perspective. When we went through the permitting last time, one of the neighbors pointed out, well, your wastewater permit says you can have X number of houses. Yeah, but our town approval is only approving 2 lots. That's not giving us, we're limited by the most restrictive of whatever permit we got. But to ease people's minds, we went back, we modified the water supply wastewater disposal permit to show just 2 houses. So the wastewater permit was modified to 2 houses for that subdivision that we came through last year for. Well, now we want to do more with this lot. We're not opening that back up. DRB decision was open to appeal for 30 days. It's 30 days. After that was issued, no one questioned the 10 feet. That would have been my answer, is we're trying to minimize wetland impact. 10 feet is sufficient. Well, the DRB approved it back then. Whether it was,
You approved it with 2 houses. You're not presenting with 2 houses anymore. You're presenting with 5.
right, but we're not modifying that wetland crossing at all. We're not modifying that wetland permit. We're not modifying that previous decision creating lot 2.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question. That was
Yeah.
the wetlands, the different options. Why is the wastewater different from what we're proposing here? We have more wastewater capacity in pocket. Yeah, maybe it's some value to someone someday. Maybe not. I don't know what's going to be out here 20 years from now or 80. But anyway, thank you.
I'll come back to see if there's any questions from interested parties. Are there any more questions from the board? Okay, questions from interested parties. We have a question in the room, Lori.
It's not a question, it's a statement.
Comments?
Can I do that?
Questions and comments?
I have,
So I understand Paul, sorry. I understand Jay's wastewater, explanation to go big and go bold, right? That's the only thing that any of us on South End Road have in writing that says, what is the future plan of this 30 acres? We've asked the DRB to request a master plan. I think Jay said no. If you look at the wastewater permit allows 5 7-bedroom homes with up to 10 people per house. So that's 50 people. We don't even have 50 people on that part of South End Road. So it's a significant increase in resources, utilities, water flow, wetland impact to South End Road. It doesn't even meet state standards. It's a big deal. And there's nothing else that any of us on South End Road can look at to say, oh, they're really not going to do that. Right? There's verbal, but there's nothing else in writing that says anything different than what we're seeing in the wetland permit and the wastewater permit, which is a significant uptick in that neighborhood. So that's why I keep leaning into the town plan. Look at the town plan and see how do we, we're not building a shed here that needs to be 25 feet away from the boundary line. We're building a major subdivision and it deserves a deeper dive into the town plan. That's just my opinion. And thank you for listening. I appreciate everything that you guys do. I know it's difficult.
Do you
But
want
we're
to
not doing that.
comment?
We're not
If I-
submitting that.
The town plan is the goal. The development regulations are the means to the goal. I didn't say no to we won't show you a master plan. I believe I said something to the effect of, this is our master plan. We've got nothing else beyond this. Yes, we've got wastewater capacity in hand. That has value in my mind. Whether it has value to someone who buys one of the lots, who wants to put in who knows what, or if it has value to maybe Jared wants to do something someday in the future and needs additional wastewater capacity, or you, Lori, to your property, or anyone. Maybe it's a hotel back on lot 2 someday. Good luck with that. But at least the septic capacity has been identified and is in the state records as available. But I don't want to take on that battle, and that's not our battle today. We're proposing 4 houses.
No, and the only reason that came out in the beginning is my direction to Jay was, let's see what we've got here. I don't even know what we have. And we maximized everything. And we went, oh, well, we might as well keep it in our back pocket if we can use it. But right now I'm applying for the 4 houses in lot 1. We already have approvals for lot 2 to build 1 house. And my hope was I could find one person that might like that beautiful land with the animals and the ecology and all that stuff happening all around them on 1 25-acre lot. And that would be what I'm hoping for. And that's why I set it up this way.
Sounds like an opportunity, Jerry, to make them an offer.
Camp Ingalls might want some
I got
more
that right
land
here.
and or septic capacity someday.
Right.
Lori, did you want to ask?
Let's make a comment.
Yeah,
So,
another comment.
Jay, you said that the development regulations are it. They're not it. I'm reading from the town plan. The town of North Shore is engaged in a planning process led by the planning commission set forth by the town plan to guide community decisions making and actions. The town plan serves as a function for implementation devices such as the North Hero development regulation. It's supporting the town plan. It's not it. It also serves as an important function in the evaluation of major development under Vermont's land use and development law Act 250. So we should be looking at this plan, not just the development regulations.
It's pieces of the development regulations, but
They are a
But that's what we're
piece of
following.
it. It's not the whole thing.
You can't,
That's what I'm saying.
you don't know where if you did the other.
So we have another question on the board, but 1 second, I'm gonna
Okay.
ask for any other comments from folks on the Zoom.
I think,
I have a couple
Nope.
of comments.
I'd like some clarification. Maybe the board can.
Was that Dory?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me. Okay. I just had a few comments. I want
Yes.
to introduce myself. My name is Dory Barton. I'm a wetland ecologist with Arrowwood Environmental, working for Lori Chalmers. I've been a wetland ecologist for, this will be my 29th year, and in the state of Vermont. And I just wanted to clarify and add to one comment that was made earlier about the Vermont wetland permit and the questions related to the avoidance and whether there are other options available, and that the importance of that. And I think someone asked, well, what's the consequence of answering that question incorrectly? The state wetland permit, as Jay mentioned, has a public comment period, but if the public doesn't know the extent of the plan, they're at a significant disadvantage to comment. And folks may decide not to comment if they don't understand the full extent of the plan, which seems to be the case here. And that's why Lori is pursuing this with the state. You know, plans do change, but if full development was known at the time a permit application is submitted, that should be revealed at the time of that. And so I think that's what's in question right now. It's kind of the timing of the changes and whether there was ample opportunity for neighbors to give comment, not just for the wetlands program to review, but, you know, the process is for the neighbors to be involved too. And as you saw, and unfortunately I'm not there to see what you're looking at, you know, Lori has a significant area of wetland on her property, and it's not just what's limited to what the state has mapped. She doesn't have the delineation of her property. We haven't had the opportunity. It hasn't been the right season, but it's not a small area. It's not inconsequential. And that has directly related to the concerns about the culverts, maintaining the hydrology, and definitely very appreciative of the applicant for agreeing to keep those culverts so that these wetlands, which are vernal pool providing amphibian breeding habitat, so the hydrology is not changing significantly. So definitely appreciative of that. A question that I had was that on the wetland plans, this turnaround that we've been talking about is identified for snow storage. I think on the town plans, it's identified as a turnaround. So not sure how those are compatible if in the wintertime, if that area is supposed to be where snow is stored, so it's not transferred into the wetland. Finally, I'll end this, that I haven't heard any mention of permitting with the Army Corps of Engineers. As of April 2026, their permitting regime completely changed such that any residential project with wetland impacts would be required to formally submit a permit application. That's a pretty significant change, and slightly concerned that the applicant and their consultants may have not been aware of this change, and that it's relevant to, you know, the project. And I don't know how the town feels about securing the federal permits, but it's not my understanding that that's been applied for at this time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dory. Do we have any other comments from people on Zoom?
Lawrence was waiting here in the waiting room. He
Is Lawrence?
disappeared.
All right. We may have
keep
another
an eye out.
participant. Jay, did you want to respond to Dory's comments?
Snow storage.
Yes, so the snow storage, and I apologize, Dory may not have benefit of the plans on either side of the wetland crossing, just outside of the wetland buffer, we've identified snow storage areas, and it shows up best on the wastewater or on the wetland plan. At the request of the Wetlands Office, with the signage to say this is the snow storage area. Our turnaround halfway back to the road.
Okay.
And so the snow storage area is not intended for turnaround.
Can you just point to the hammerhead? Yes.
So it's this area here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have snow storage here and here that
You saw
Elijah
those
had
last
asked
meeting.
for during review
Where's the turnaround?
at the end of the road up here. From here on down, it's just a shared drive. Driveway branches off, then it's a drive.
So if you get this far, there's
Okay, and make your way around.
very difficult.
There.
And I think Dory is talking about the nationwide general permit from Army Corps. And Dory's much smarter at wetlands than I'll ever be. Very reputable. I know the nationwide permits came on board. It's worth running that by our wetlands consultant and see how that applies. We'd be comfortable with a condition in the permit that all applicable federal permits start of construction. But that would apply again, more specifically to that wetland crossing feeding lot 2.
Charlie, did you have?
I guess we needed, I'll need a little clarification to, as a board, since I've been here, a question of the town plan affecting, a decision by the DRB. And, you know, I have been operating under the understanding that what we're doing is interpreting the regulations.
Yes.
So there's never been any training or instruction in, well, we have a town plan, so that now the DRB has to consider the town plan in any of their decisions. So I would need some clarification on.
So the DRB is required to regulate with the bylaws.
Right,
The bylaws are generated by the planning commission.
right.
The planning commission puts together a town plan on a regular, they're getting ready to do another one. The only things that come in the regulations that come before us are things like character of the neighborhood. And then the specific regulations in terms of density, in terms of rural lands versus shorelands, etc.
Right.
So we, as a DRB, only work with what is specifically in the bylaws. The bylaws are from.
Right. That's been my understanding. I just want to
Okay,
get
and this is,
clarification here.
yeah,
You
and
have to understand, this is, you know, we are directed specifically on what we can consider.
That's interesting because that had come up, sorry.
I will just point out that I noted this on numerous occasions, that the regulations actually do make reference to places where we are supposed to use the town plan to interpret our decisions. And I'll be happy to provide those references.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yep. Yeah, that would be great.
Did you want to make a comment?
There's much more in the town plan than there is, I mean, I've read the DRB regulations inside out and backwards, and they're like, you want to put a house here, here are the regulations. There's nothing in there about protecting wildlife, protecting, lakeshore, home values. There's all kinds of stuff in the town plan that I would think, if it's bigger than a bread box, somebody should be looking at this and saying, yes, I've looked at this, it meets the needs of the town. Not just, it's 25 feet here, it's got a setback there, the road's wide enough. That's not enough for a major development. And this town plan doesn't say it's just the DRB regulations. This town plan says that's part of the plan. The DRB regulations are part of the plan, but they're not the only thing. I'm just asking if you, please, look at all the things in here that I think this development needs consideration for. And I'm not just trying to dump this thing. I'm really concerned about the hydrology, the wetlands, the wildlife, and none of that is addressed in the DRB regulations.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand your concerns. What I'm getting at is clarification of what we can consider in making this decision, and what we are not to consider making this decision. So while I understand your feelings about what should happen, that may not be what we can legally do. This
Okay,
is.
can I ask you another question now?
Sure.
If you can't adhere to this, who does? Like,
Planning
you're-
Commission.
Planning Commission.
And the public, because the Planning Commission puts forward the drafts up a town plan and brings in the public for discussion around that when they are drafting that up.
Oh, believe me, I was part of that. And it's one of the reasons why I live here. I love this town plan. It's very balanced. I will say, it's written really well. It's very balanced. It resonates with me. Right? But who upholds this town plan? If it's not the DRB, who is it?
Yeah, so the way that organizationally, the way that this is designed is that the town plan drives the planning commission to set regulations that meet the objectives of the town plan. And so what Delsey's suggesting, and which I would reinforce, is we're actually going through a process right now of updating the town plan. And it's really important for people to engage in that process.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Lori,
Once you
can I
get
ask you a
the
question?
town plan, who's gonna
The
say-
town plan is not enforceable as a law. It gets translated into regulations which are enforceable.
But your regulations don't cover half the stuff that's in here.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
And
get
that's a
a
problem with
Yes.
the asphalt side.
Run for the planning commission.
Please.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys do such great work. It's amazing to me after going through this process, how much there is to know and learn. So hats off to all of you for doing what you do every day. And I'm in a learning process, so if I'm asking, ridiculous questions, just let me know.
And I really appreciate that, that you have dug into this.
Yeah, the engagement.
And I will just say that North Yarra does have a problem. There is a process in adoption of bylaws that requires a report that talks about how the bylaws adhere or affect the town, what's required by the town plan. And they have abrogated the responsibility to do that in every case. They just say it does, and they don't actually say how.
Patty?
So I think we're a little off track here. I mean, I think we're way far off track. We don't have the ability to do this. I mean, we can't, we're discussing a 4-unit
Yeah, exactly.
subdivision here.
Well,
we don't interpret the wastewater permit, we don't interpret the wetlands permit as the DRB. These are permitted. Jay has looked at these, they're on the drawings. The houses are placed that way. I think we should proceed with the hearing, not this debate at this time. I think it's a valuable debate to have, but this isn't the venue for it.
Right. Are there any other questions or comments from the Zoom? Okay. Okay, thank you. Any more questions or comments from the board? Are we ready to make a motion?
For what? I would like to
To
see,
close
I would
and
like
recess?
to make a suggestion that we request a phasing drawing for, specifically for the road, for you to just show the base rock. This stage of the plan, followed by, and where that piece will go, and then and a timeline for that.
I'm not.
I don't know what you're
I'm not sure
asking.
what you're asking.
Oh, just a drawing that shows, or delineation of specifically what phase one of the construction of this project would look like with that base rock road.
Depends on which lot is purchased.
Right, that's like, so you have 4 lots, and if it's the further
Oh, so I guess
side
it
to
could
the
be-
right, it could be the road.
Okay, so I
has to go
guess
all
we
the way
have
back.
4 different plans, then, right?
What I'd like to default to, at the risk of being too simplistic, it's the way my mind works. I've given you a tentative condition in the narrative here. And it's not so much phasing, but it's the subbase of the approved private road shall be installed prior to initiating any construction except clearing and grubbing on individual lots. So the subbase of the entire road before constructing on any of the individual lots and shall be maintained as serviceable during the construction. The road surface shall be completed prior to occupancy of any new building lot.
It's there, and it's the green highlighted, I highlighted in green.
And that's
That was what-
why
that's
I
in our
asked the
packet.
question earlier in terms of specifically where the road was and then when it became a driveway.
Yeah, and that's road maintenance during construction. What about after construction?
Then it will be addressed in the
finish goes
covenants
on.
of the subdivision. The homeowners association covenants will outline who's responsible for what.
So there will be an HOA.
Yeah.
For these 4
With
houses.
some pretty
Or
hefty
for the
So will all those covenants be developed or created with the initiation of one lot being prepared, or how does that work?
I would think that the creation and sale of one lot would trigger the need for all of the covenants and creation of the homeowners association.
I've seen that on
Yeah.
other,
The trust would be the majority owner controlling things until enough lots are sold, but that all needs to be outlined for the first buyer.
That's typical.
Yeah.
I've worked in other subdivisions before and sold other places, and it's one set of covenants gets created initially, the
Right.
attorney for that closing, and then, you know, the owner of the property creates the covenants, but it has to be filed before someone purchases the house, basically.
And there's nothing in the covenants that we would require as a covenants that specific to the way the construction plan would go.
No.
With these driveways and the base rock, who has a paved road or not.
I'd try to keep at least the construction out of the covenants. I think of the covenants as being long-term maintenance and ownership and repair sort of thing. The construction is guided by, we have a stormwater construction permit, which is part of your packet. And then whatever else, if you feel there need to be other conditions in the construction, that would be in your conditions of the permit. But
Of the construction permit.
yeah, which is why I'm offering, feel free to modify it if you see fit, but I wanted to give you a starting point of how I think it's more practical for the road construction versus saying the road shall be completed prior.
No, I understand that, but I'm
sorry.
concerned about, there's a lot of. There's a lot of variation or variability allowed with houses and, you know, how much of this is where the turnaround's gonna be, and then you have something identified there, but.
These plans are what we are discussing.
Right.
And in terms of that, the turnaround and the snow, both of those are clearly identified.
Right, right. So my question is, what would we do about snow and turnarounds if there's construction prior to the top level of the road being put on,
The construction,
isn't completed in the winter and they need to deal with the snow?
The snow storage areas are only specified at the wetland crossing. So only for lot 2, which was previously addressed. Otherwise,
I thought there's a hammerhead turnaround.
there's a hammerhead turnaround, the terminus of the road. So that snow would be put where the snowplow driver decides to put it. They like pushing straight forward or at an angle. They don't like moving it long distances, but I just assume.
But it doesn't matter where they put it because it's not narrow wetland.
And
It's essentially.
And
It's all
nobody
downhill.
going down to the end of the road because there's nothing down there yet.
Right.
There aren't any driveways completed yet.
Lisa, I think we're ready to move on,
Okay.
unless you have something
Well,
really,
No, go ahead.
yeah.
A motion, we close the hearing.
To close the hearing as opposed to recess the hearing. Yes.
I second.
Second to close the hearing. All right, any discussion?
We don't need any additional information from the state about the wetlands? Is that, do you feel like all of your questions are answered about that? Cause I still
We're
have
still going to
questions.
write a division, we're still going to write a conclusion and not a request if there is something.
If there is something,
I mean,
don't we
our
need to find out?
restrictions, our restrictions in
Conditions.
the
Yeah, there's conditions,
conditions in our.
or the board may choose not to approve the application.
Well, it sounds like there's still things in flux right now. And do you feel like,
Can you specifically identify one?
oh, just what, Ms. Chalmers has talked about regarding the timing of the number of houses on the wetlands application versus permit. And if there's any controversy about that, that still needs to be clarified.
There was a lot of correspondence in our packet that went back and forth with wetland person that's in charge of this project and the wetland permit we have a copy of.
Mhm.
There was a lot of discussion about everything in that. I can't interpret it and I'm not gonna go back and
Yeah.
question the wetland permit person. I mean, I think we have what we have to work with here and
So,
Charlie.
so are we okay to move towards a vote?
I would say yes, if we have Charlie said to close the meeting,
Yep.
Elsie seconded it.
Okay. Any additional comments, Lisa?
I guess, I just have a question for, I guess it's Dory. What do you think there could possibly be as an outcome of the correspondence that's going on back and forth between the wetlands permitting process that might change what we have before us?
So I don't have a crystal ball in front of me, but So the question right now for the wetlands program is whether to reopen the permit application based on whether information was provided accurately on the application or not. And you know, how they decide that, you know, I can't predict that, but I guess the possible outcomes are that the wetland program agrees to reopen, and essentially they ask the applicant to address those questions again, in a revised application. And the wetlands program would review that, and then the public would have an opportunity to comment upon that. And then they would make a decision about reissuing a permit. Obviously, they can decide to do nothing, and stay with with their decision. I think if you're going to close your hearing, you might consider review of a permit condition about maintaining a wetland permit. So they have one now. If it gets reopened and it changes, you know, what do you do then? So I think if you're going to close your hearing, you really need to think about that in terms of how you could cover this process. You know, if the wetlands program opens it up and for some reason that, you know, the easternmost house is eliminated because they found that, you know, they were only going to approve so many houses and you could avoid that crossing. You know, it's important to realize that the wetlands program is not obligated to permit full development potential of a property. So they do evaluate, you know, the potential impacts. And there has been a lot of discussion about additional development. I think that's lot 2. You know, and just my quick walk across that property, that lot is very wet. And I'm sure the applicant knows that. And they may have gotten wastewater approved there, but you know, it remains to be seen like what kind of development. But the wetlands program is interested in that information too, if it's known at the time of the application. So, you know, as I said before, I see this with my clients. It's like they don't necessarily know what the future holds, and they change their mind. But if it seems clear that they did know and they didn't provide that on an application, you kind of go down a different road. So I don't know if that's helpful.
And Dory, do we know what the timeline of this application to reopen the wetlands is?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Where it well, you're kind of choppy out here in Zoom land.
Do we know what the timeline of the reopening of the wetlands application is?
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the table to close the hearing.
May I address
Yes,
that?
absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry, Jay.
No, that's okay. Just want to point out again, instead of getting into discussion of the wetlands on lot 2, lot 2 is not part of the application.
Yeah.
The wetland crossing is not part of the application.
Right.
Right, we're fully aware.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Lori.
Just want to reiterate that this whole thing is based on that wetland permit. So if they're gonna toss it, then it doesn't matter if we're talking about lot 1 or lot 2.
Yeah, understood.
Have to call the person.
Yes, ready to call a vote to close the hearing?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Any opposed? No, unanimous. Close the hearing at 8:30. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank everybody. I thought this was a very constructive conversation.
Thank you all.
All right. Continue with the agenda.
Make sure documents are up over there, right?
These are voted.
Okay, you can leave them. I just want to make sure that they're there
That we have them.
that I can collect them at the end.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
moving
See you
into
guys
board
later.
business.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Ms.
much.
Riandow.
Good night. Good night.
Moving into board business, approval of the minutes. Madam Zoning Administrator, Madam Clerk.
Yes.
Still recording, right?
Yes, aren't we supposed to be?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have a suggestion for the minutes.
Okay.
Let's see. Under, Ms. Turin made a site inspection and determined the following: the fence was exactly 6 feet high and measured in 3 locations.
Okay. Ready to go? I can keep this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other changes to the minutes?
What was that change?
I didn't capture in the minutes that the fence was measured in 3 separate locations.
Yes, oh, okay, yes.
Any other changes to the minutes? Minutes approved, taking a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Staying. Here.
Okay,
You weren't on with it?
No.
next item, the zoning administrator report. Danielle.
Okay. We had a little bit more activity than in March. I had issued 4 permits for sheds, 2 permits for new garages, 1 permit for deck and stairs combination, 1 permit for a roof over an outdoor deck, and 1 certificate of compliance for sale of a home, and 1 certificate of occupancy for a finished accessory dwelling unit.
Spring in Vermont.
Yeah, really busy. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely picking up, which is nice. Yep. That'll do it.
Okay, any questions for the zoning administrator? All right, next, procedures, Chelsea.
I want to bring your attention to the fact that we need to do some work on the procedures. We revised and adopted them May 8th, 2025. And, but they were never forwarded and distributed. And we have 3 things to change in them. And I would suggest that we don't forward them and distribute them, select board, etc. I suggest that we make the changes that have come up since May of 2025 and then proceed to do all of the distribution. I would like to suggest that we perhaps do a sort of David kind of time of what you did with the regulations, and we have a separate meeting once these are all distributed, etc. And we just tackle it all at once, get it done.
One meeting.
Update them and get them out.
Sounds great.
So that's.
All right.
Okay.
Regulation updates for planning commission. I'm gonna put that on hold because we still have quite a bit to cover tonight. Other business, Lisa, you asked for information on training.
Yes, I just sent that out like right before the meeting.
Yeah.
But a notice about the legislative update forum that's coming up on June 10th, which is before our next meeting. It's in Fairleigh, the resort in Fairleigh. If something, I think we need to attend as many people as possible. It is available virtually for like $20 a person. In person, which if no one's been to that resort, it'd be great to go. It's, I think it's more, it's like, I don't know, 50 or something, but anyway, I think we need to, decide if it's appropriate and use our training funds to fund people to attend.
Do we have
either virtually or?
budget for training?
We do have a budget. for
Yeah.
training, but,
Small one.
Right.
yes, and it's for something like this.
Yeah.
It's-
That sounds great. Do we need to
Okay.
take a vote?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, I think we should agree. I mean, yeah, maybe we should.
Is
record
it
that it's
is it
for
appropriate to use our training funds for this training?
I'd say yes.
Yes.
But who would want to go? And if someone wants to take it and has, can I mean, I don't think the whole group will end up going.
I would definitely do the virtual thing, because it's,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I happen to be free that day.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not available.
I wouldn't, I'm not, yeah.
June 9th,
10th.
10th, a Wednesday?
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm open.
So are we in agreement that we can use our training funds for this? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Universal. Great. Okay.
I have one thing to mention on those lines. There's also an online, a webinar put on by NRPC that's geared toward DRB members, on the 28th of May. I can forward the link to you. It's a free training.
That looks good. It looks like it would be good for people to
Mhm.
get some value out of it.
Okay. Are we prepared to go into deliberative session?
Yes.
Yes. Entering
We need
deliberative,
a motion, don't we?
oh, sorry. Motion for deliberative session.
Mhm.
Patty,
Second.
Delcy seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
Okay.
8:37 going into deliberative session.